I have looked for oyster mushroom for a long time, and today finally I captured my very first winter gray oyster. Let's join me today for a long walk in a mountain in County Wicklow, Ireland. It's the winter, but today the weather is just so beautiful. As a mushroom forager, I could never forget my knife and basket. But today I do not have both of them, and suddenly my oyster mushroom appeared from the sky. It's not very easy to get them. They grow on the tree. Lucky me, the tree has been fallen, and the location of the mushroom are actually reachable. It's not easy to get oyster mushroom without knife. I just managed to get one pack of them, probably just enough for my dinner tonight.
See what I found? When you're looking a lot anywhere and you never find it. And today when I have a walk to the top of the very top mountain near my home, and I found a lovely oyster. Super big. You can see it's much bigger around my face. It's a winter oyster. Or people sometimes call it the great oyster. You know, in the summer the oyster is white, and in the winter it's normally darker color. Sometimes you look at them, it look brown, and sometimes it's more gray, or sometimes it look a bit dark. But remember, oysters normally grow together in a bunch. Sometimes it's grow, you find one oyster, but it's not very common normally. It's a big group of mushroom. Quite big, and you see it looked like an oyster. That's why it had that name. And you can see had the gill, quite thick gill.
The gill is in white color, but its wing turns slightly yellow and running most of the way down the stem, and the gill is grounded.
And the oyster, they have a stem.
The stem is in white color and is opening out to the cap when you can see them. but sometimes it's quite difficult to detect the stem of the oyster mushroom. Sometimes it just looks like the gap goes straight out from the tree.
Even it's quite tiny, but they have a tiny stem at the end. Smells super lovely. Oyster, I think, is one of the best mushroom in the forest. Super lovely. Very happy today to find them. When I look at them, I did not really think, oh my god, I actually found them. And remember, oyster grow on tree.
Deciduous tree, and normally on beach.
So if you find something grow on the level of the soil or on the earth, it's not the oyster. It needs to grow on the tree, and normally it's a dead tree. Sometimes the oyster still grow on the tree alive, but normally on the dead tree. You see, very lovely, very big, and it needs to look like an oyster. The oyster in the winter is there's nothing look like it in the forest, so it's no risk. But in the summer, when you look at the oyster, the white oyster, you need to look it more carefully because it had the angel wing. It looked quite similar, but oyster had the stem, had a small stem, but the angle wing doesn't have the stem. But in the winter, there's nothing look like this. Grow on the tree, look like the oyster, have a gill, big gill, and very tiny stem, and grow on a big root. I will have a very nice dinner today.
The fact is, gray oyster may grow only year around, but I only find gray oyster grow in the winter.